Tonight, I would like to share with you a traditional Chinese folktale. Long ago, people believed that beyond the mountains and rivers, there were mysterious beings living between heaven and earth. Some appeared as animals, some as spirits, and some could even walk among humans. Among these stories, there is one about a lonely hunter and a swan maiden who lost her way home. It is a story about beauty, longing, and a choice that changed many lives. So sit back, relax, and let the quiet mountains carry you into this ancient tale. This is the story of the stolen feather robe. The Lost Wings storytelling. Long ago, deep in the mountains, there lived a hunter. He was an orphan who had grown up alone. With no family to rely on, he survived by hunting in the forest. The mountains were both his home and his entire world. His life was quiet and poor. Aside from the wind in the trees, the calls of birds, and the sound of running water, he had little company. One day, the sky was bright and clear. The hunter went into the mountains to hunt, but luck was not on his side. By the end of the day, he had caught only 2 rabbits. As the sun slowly sank behind the hills, he walked to a river, washed his face, and drank a handful of cool water. Then he lay down in the bushes by the riverbank to rest. Just as he began to drift into sleep, he heard the sound of wings beating in the sky. Startled, he looked up. From the distant horizon, a flock of white swans was flying toward the river. They descended gracefully onto the shore, and in the moment they touched the ground, they transformed into a group of young maidens dressed in radiant feather robes. The hunter froze in shock. He dared not make a sound. Holding his breath, he hid deeper in the bushes and watched through the leaves. The maidens removed their feather robes and ran laughing into the clear river. They splashed and chased each other, their laughter ringing through the valley like silver bells. The wind rustled through the leaves, the water murmured gently. Birds sang in the forest, and squirrels leapt between branches. The mountains were full of life. The maidens were so absorbed in their joy that none of them noticed the pair of eyes watching them from behind the shadows. At first, the hunter's face was filled with astonishment. Slowly, the expression faded into something colder. His weathered face remained still, but in his deep, dark eyes, a faint and secret thought flickered. He looked toward the feather robes lying on the riverbank. They shimmered softly with colors like sunlight on water, red, gold, blue, and green, glowing as if woven from starlight itself. The hunter watched them for a long time. Then, in a single moment, he made a decision. Moving silently, he crept closer to the robes. Not a single twig snapped beneath his feet. He picked up one robe, folded it into a small bundle, and hid it inside his worn coat. After one last glance at the white figures in the water, he slipped quietly back into the forest. He needed to hide the robe. As evening fell, the maidens came ashore one by one. They put on their feather robes and turned back into swans, flying gracefully into the fading sky. But one maiden remained behind. She searched everywhere along the riverbank, panic slowly growing in her eyes. Her robe was gone. The sky darkened. Her companions had already flown away. Beside the silent river, the young maiden could bear it no longer and began to cry. At that moment, the hunter appeared at the river as by chance, pretending to drink water. Everything happened naturally after that. Without her robe, the maiden could not return home. With nowhere else to go, she followed the hunter back to his cabin in the mountains. Not long after, through pressure and circumstance, the maiden became his wife. She refused to tell him her true name. So the hunter simply called her Ling. Years passed. Ling remained as beautiful as ever, yet something inside her had faded. Her eyes grew quiet and distant, like a still pond that no longer reflected the sky. During those years, she gave birth to 2 children, a boy and a girl. Both children looked remarkably like their mother. Their eyes were especially striking, bright like jewels, as if tiny stars lived inside them. Every day Ling cooked, washed clothes, cared for the house, and raised the children. From the outside, it looked like a peaceful family. But Ling never smiled. Perhaps out of guilt, or perhaps out of fear, the hunter never allowed the children or Ling to meet strangers. Their world remained trapped within the forest. One day, the hunter left to hunt in the mountains. The 2 children were playing outside when they wandered near their father's small tool shed, a place he had always forbidden them to enter. But curiosity finally overcame them. They slipped inside. While exploring, the little girl accidentally pressed a hidden mechanism. A wooden panel slid open, revealing a secret compartment. Inside it lay a robe. The robe glowed softly with many colors. The girl picked it up and showed it to her brother. "It's so beautiful," she said. "Yes, it really is," the boy replied. They had never seen anything like it before. Excited, they ran to show it to their mother. The moment Ling saw the robe, she froze. Shock filled her eyes, then comme joie, then sorrow. And beneath that sorrow, something deeper, anger, that had been buried for many years. All the emotions crossed her face like a storm. When the hunter returned home that evening, the house was silent. Ling Wagon. The 2 children stood quietly. A terrible feeling struck his heart. He ran to the tool shed and opened the hidden compartment. Itoit en petit. He understood everything. Ling had finally found the robe. The hunter is faspal. Yet, when he saw the children, hope slowly returned. She won't abandon her children, he told himself. She will come back. Early the next morning, a sound of wings cut through the air outside. The hunter rushed out the door. Itoir. Ling had returned. The children ran outside behind him. But Ling did not look at the hunter. She did not say a single word to him. Instead, she took out 2 small feather robes that glowed with the same beautiful colors. She gently dressed the children in them. In the next moment, the children transformed into 2 white swans. Together, the 3 of them spread their wings. They rose into the sky, higher and higher, and flew away into the distant horizon, never once looking back. Happiness built on deception is like a flower in the mirror, or the moon reflected in water, beautiful but never real.